Hello everyone. Today we're talking about something very important. Driving. Driving is an essential part of our daily lives, whether we're commuting to work, running errands, or embarking on a road trip adventure. But have you ever stopped to think about how driving varies from one country to another? It's fascinating to see the differences in road systems, traffic rules, and driving habits around the world. So buckle up and join me on this journey as we explore the unique aspects of driving in different countries. Driving is different all over the world, isn't it mad? From the bustling streets of Tokyo to the serene highways of the Swiss Alps, each country has its own set of rules and customs when it comes to driving. For instance, in some countries, you'll find drivers honking their horns frequently, while in others, honking is considered rude and is only used in emergencies. The way people drive can tell you a lot about the culture and lifestyle of a place. Some countries drive on the right side of the road. This is the case in the United States, Canada, and most of Europe. The reason for this dates back to the days of horse-drawn carriages, where drivers would sit on the left side of the carriage to keep their right hand free for greeting or defending themselves. As cars became more common, this practice carried over, and driving on the right side of the road became the norm in many countries. Other countries drive on the left side of the road. This is true for the United Kingdom, Australia, Japan, and several other countries. The origins of this practice can be traced back to medieval times, when knights would ride their horses on the left side of the road to keep their right hand, which held their sword, free to defend themselves against oncoming enemies. This tradition continued into the age of automobiles, and driving on the left side of the road became standard in these countries. How strange. We're answering a question today that's been on everyone's mind. Why do the English drive on the right? Well, actually, the English drive on the left side of the road, which can be quite confusing for visitors from countries where driving on the right is the norm. The reason for this dates back to the days of horse-drawn carriages and medieval knights, as I mentioned earlier. It's a fascinating piece of history that has had a lasting impact on modern driving practices. It's a real head-scratcher. Stick around and find out. We'll dive deeper into the history and reasons behind these driving practices, and we'll also explore some interesting facts about driving in different countries. For example, did you know that in some countries it's illegal to drive without a shirt on? Or that in others you must carry a breathalyzer in your car at all times? There are so many unique and quirky driving laws around the world that you might not be aware of. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel for more amazing content. You won't regret it. By subscribing, you'll stay updated on all our latest videos where we explore fascinating topics like this one. Plus, you'll be part of a community of curious minds who love learning about the world around us. So hit that like button, subscribe, and let's continue our journey into the world of driving. It's historical. Okay, so let's get down to business. Have you ever wondered why the English drive on the right side of the road? It's a question that has puzzled many, especially those who are used to driving on the left. The answer is deeply rooted in history and tradition, and it goes back centuries. Why do the English drive on the right? To understand this, we need to take a journey back in time, to an era when roads were not paved, and the primary mode of transportation was horseback. Well, it all goes back a long, long time ago. In medieval times, the roads were narrow and often dangerous. People had to be cautious and prepared for any unexpected encounters, way back to the days of horses and carts. During this period, most people travelled on horseback or in horse-drawn carriages. The roads were not as organised as they are today, and there were no traffic lights or signs to guide travellers. Back then, most people were right-handed, just like today. This played a significant role in determining which side of the road they would travel on. And guess what? They rode their horses on the left side of the road. This was not just a random choice, it was a practical decision based on safety and convenience. Why? Because it was easier to control their swords with their right hand if they encountered an enemy. In those days, carrying a sword was common, and being able to draw it quickly was crucial for self-defense. You never knew when you might run into a baddie. Traveling on the left allowed riders to keep their right hand free to draw their sword and defend themselves if necessary. This practice became a standard and was passed down through generations. Additionally, riding on the left side of the road made it easier for people to pass each other safely. In crowded market areas or narrow streets, this practice helped avoid collisions and ensured smoother traffic flow. Over time, this custom was formalized into law. Historical documents and old maps show that riding on the left was a well-established practice in England and many other parts of Europe. So, while it may seem unusual to those who are used to driving on the right, the English tradition of driving on the left has deep historical roots. It's a fascinating example of how ancient practices can influence modern life. Today, driving on the left is an integral part of British culture. New drivers learn this from the very beginning, and it has become second nature to them. Interestingly, not all countries follow the same rule. While the UK and some other countries drive on the left, the majority of the world drives on the right. This difference can be a bit confusing for travellers, but it's all part of the rich tapestry of global driving customs. So the next time you find yourself driving in the UK, remember that you're part of a long-standing tradition that dates back to the days of knights and horse-drawn carriages. It's a unique aspect of British history that continues to shape the way people travel today. Embrace the experience and enjoy the journey. After all, driving on the left is just one of the many things that make the UK a fascinating place to explore. Imagine you're a knight in shining armor. You're riding your trusty steed down the road, sword at your side. Suddenly you see someone suspicious coming towards you. Yikes! If you're riding on the left, you can easily draw your sword with your right hand and defend yourself. Makes sense, right? Those knights were clever. If you're enjoying this trip down memory lane, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Now let's fast forward a few centuries. Enter Napoleon Bonaparte. He was a famous French general who conquered a big chunk of Europe. Napoleon was left-handed. Can you believe it? He decided that everyone should drive on the right side of the road, just like him. And because he was a powerful guy, many countries under his control started driving on the right. But not England. They were stubborn and stuck to their old ways. Good for them. Section 5. The Americans did what? Now, you might be wondering about the Americans. They drive on the right too, right? That's right, they do. And there's a fun story behind that. You see, the Americans wanted to be different from the British after they gained independence. So they decided to drive on the right side of the road just to be rebels. Classic Americans. If you're loving this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Section 6. Fun facts about driving in the UK. Now let's have some fun with some surprising facts about driving in the UK. Driving in the UK is a unique experience, filled with its own set of rules, quirks, and interesting tidbits that you might not find anywhere else. Whether you're a local or a tourist, these fun facts will surely make your driving experience more enjoyable and perhaps even a bit more amusing. Did you know that in London there are more than 300 different car models on the road at any given time? That's right. The streets of London are a veritable showcase of automotive diversity. From the latest electric vehicles to classic British cars, you can see a wide range of makes and models as you navigate the bustling city streets. This variety not only adds to the charm of driving in London, but also makes for some interesting car spotting opportunities. That's a lot of cars. And speaking of cars, did you know that the UK has some of the most stringent car safety regulations in the world? This means that the cars you see on the road are not only diverse, but also among the safest you can find. The UK's commitment to road safety is evident in its rigorous testing and certification processes, ensuring that every vehicle meets high standards before it hits the road. And guess what? It's illegal to honk your horn in a built-up area between 11:30 p.m. and 7 a.m. in the UK. This law is in place to ensure that residents can enjoy a peaceful night's sleep without being disturbed by unnecessary noise. So, if you find yourself driving through a residential area late at night, remember to keep the noise down and respect the tranquility of the neighborhood. Unless it's an emergency, of course. In situations where safety is a concern, such as alerting other drivers to a potential hazard, using your horn is perfectly acceptable. The key is to use it judiciously and only when absolutely necessary. This helps maintain a balance between safety and peace, ensuring that the roads are safe without causing undue disturbance to those living nearby. We don't want to wake anyone up, do we? The UK's approach to driving etiquette is all about consideration and respect for others. By following these rules and being mindful of our actions, we can all contribute to a more pleasant and harmonious driving environment. So the next time you're behind the wheel in the UK, remember these fun facts and drive with a smile, knowing that you're part of a community that values safety, diversity, and respect. Section 7, roundabouts, friend or foe? Oh, and let's not forget about roundabouts. The UK is famous for its roundabouts. They can be a bit tricky if you're not used to them, but they're actually very efficient. Just remember to yield to traffic already on the roundabout and always go clockwise. Easy peasy. If you're finding these facts fascinating, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more awesome content. Section 8. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So there you have it. Now you know why the English drive on the right side of the road. It's all because of history, culture, and maybe a little bit of stubbornness. Before you go, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel for more amazing content. I'm here every week with new videos, so don't miss out. Section 9. Driving into the sunset. Remember, driving on the wrong side of the road is all a matter of perspective. What's important is that we understand and respect different cultures and their unique quirks. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.